love these type of pods.
Fuck yeah.
Just on the couch.
The vibes. These are the vibes. Yo, I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
And have you ever woken up and you have like you just had to shit and your stomach's like bubbling because you ate
every
some
morning.
spicy every morning?
Every morning.
But not like the kind of stuff where like your stomach hurts though.
Well, you ate some spicy shit?
I ate some spicy stuff.
I hate that.
What'd you have?
I just had some like habanero stuff, like some hot sauce. I just used a lot of hot sauce.
The night before?
Like the few days leading up. And I like for the last few days, I'm waking up being like, dude, I gotta shit. And then I'm shitting. Obviously I shit every morning regardless, but like the one that cooked and it hurts.
Well, at least I waited for the morning. The worst is like the middle of the night.
Oh my God.
Like when I do Popeyes, middle of the night, I'm just screwed. Like 4 a.m.
Oh fuck. But
Yeah,
I
no,
brought
I
you
don't
a gift, dude.
What is it?
Speaking about spicy stuff, I feel like
I'm not
we should
doing
do this on the
that.
pod.
I am
I just
not
feel like
doing
why
that.
not?
No fucking chance I'm doing
We'll
that.
split it.
Can we? Let's do it after the pod, maybe.
Aw.
Yeah, because I'm not drinking this pod either, so I don't really want to get involved in that shit.
Maybe at the very end, keep the retention going.
We'll keep it for a
Shout
little
out
bit.
to
Where'd you
Mr.
get
Beast.
that?
Yeah, what?
You're not gonna do half of it. You're gonna do half. You have some other bullshit. planned.
100% I'll do half of it.
They doing fucking construction in the kitchen or what?
What the
I think that's Jew, no?
Yeah, what
Oh.
are they doing?
This is
No,
this
she's
is
washing
great.
dishes and shit.
Dude, it's funny though, because so we were
Fucking remodeling the kitchen
What's
during
funny?
the podcast.
well, we did this idea just came out of nowhere. Obviously my gut
I mean, that's
was
like
fucked
been
up.
a thing, bro.
No.
So your creative fucking senses, bro. Everyone's done.
No,
doing that.
honestly, Nate just randomly found it at 7-Eleven.
Oh,
We just
nice.
have to get water.
Well, it's probably not gonna help your stomach.
Listen, man, I just want to know what.
Wait, real quick. Not to cut you off, but I said I was gonna do this.
Okay.
Where the fuck is my DeBaby $1,000?
Where's what?
You owe me $1,000 from the DeBaby bet from the chain. That clip came up
shit,
yesterday.
That's true.
Where's my fucking money, bro?
I'll LT right now.
I don't think you want to go down that road.
What are you gonna
Pay your
Are
debts.
you strong arming me? Are you gonna
Just
strong
pay
arm
your
me?
debts. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay my debts, huh? Are you gonna
Don't
like,
make me
something?
don't make me mentory this to TikTok, bro.
Hey,
Where's my fucking money, bro?
What?
Where's
Yo,
my
I
fucking
can't believe
money?
You went there right now. You fucked. You're fucked. That's
No, but
fucked,
I need
dude.
that. So could you sell it to me?
Yeah, I will.
Just because it's just like
I
we
got
shook
you.
hands. I've paid you and I've lost. So
You did. That's a fair one. I feel like you owe me money somewhere along the line, anyways. Though.
there's zero chance of that.
No.
No, I've paid for a lot of your shit. You have a lot more money than me, so
I don't know if that's
Trust me,
actually true. I feel like I've for sure fronted you sometime in Miami at something.
I paid for everything we did in Miami. I honestly, my card was the fucking company card for a long time there.
I think Steve would disagree with that.
No, because he started forgetting his wallet too. He picked up your method. I swear to God, bro.
Dude, it's not that I don't have money. I just I use Apple Pay. Don't you use that shit?
No, I don't. I usually always have my wallet.
Oh, really?
And then we only go to places that don't take it.
No, that's not exactly true. Sometimes we go to places that take Apple Pay. I mean, honestly, it is what it is.
Shit just changes so fucking fast.
Yeah, and that is an interesting thing. I think about the internet in general. I think a lot of people don't realize how much like shit just kind of shifts and like scheduling for people gets so crazy. And I know like you've had experiences in as far as like within the company and places you guys have gone. And I know there's been times where it's like, yo, we're gonna go do this, and then 10 minutes before we're not going to do it. We're going to go do something completely different. And I think a lot of people aren't like always ready for that or aren't always stoked to be a part of that. Cause I've had experiences like that, even with like videographers that I've had who didn't want to travel. Like they were like, no, I don't even want to travel, dude. I don't even want to go. It's
I
like,
remember that.
and I'm like, fuck, you remember? Yeah, I don't even say the name, but he's over there laughing. You know, it wasn't you. It wasn't Jacob. It was a different guy. And it kind of like puts a damper on the situation because like you'd want someone to be hyped to be a part of the things that you're doing, the movement that you're making. But I think it's a common thing that I think obviously people wouldn't understand that because they just see it from the side.
I think you can always plan. I tell Gabe too, like it's always nice to have a schedule. Like, sure, let's try to schedule shit out as much as we can. But at the end of the day, like I think what separates social media from like TV or something is like you need to be ready at all times to jump on an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you got to look at your schedule and be like, fuck that. We're completely scrapping that. We're jumping on a plane. We're going here. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I flew
exactly.
middle seat 17 hours to Asia between Gabe and a guy who's probably not as big as him, but pretty big.
But Gabe probably let you sleep on his shoulder.
But for 17 hours, middle seat.
Damn, that's a real one, Gabe.
No complaints. Fucking, you got to do it. You got to,
Yeah.
you got to do sometimes, right?
No,
team,
but
team
you're
players.
right.
That's what we want around here.
You're absolutely right though. Like this is the kind of industry too where it's like time is so important. If you're not doing things at a quick pace, it's like the shit just passes you by. Like as far as being relevant or like making content on top of topics, like whether we're talking about current events, like being able to like first hit these things is what's going to help someone you know, grow or continue to maintain relevancy, popularity, whatever.
Relevancy in terms of like what's going on in the media or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is so important for social media.
Yeah.
You know,
especially now, even more so with this kind of stuff, because this is like, who's gonna want to see us come on here and talk about stuff that's like 2 years old?
No.
Unless it was something current that's like rehashing that, right? No one's gonna.
Even
like,
the podcast, yeah, you can't really get that ahead. You know, maybe what 2 to 3 max.
Our spontaneous.
Because after that, it's like then something could happen in the news where it's like
you want to talk about it right away,
and then we didn't talk about it, and it's like, oh, what the fuck? That episode's now kind of irrelevant. So even with the pod, it's tough because you can't get too ahead.
We went to Croatia when we went there, we had no hotels booked. Like, so you do things when Tate's really hot, you do it in the heat of the moment, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The spontaneous trips are what I think have been a huge success for us.
Yeah.
With anything though too. And then also I think if you're uploading a YouTube video, I think that if people are watching it on your social media like all week, then when you put that YouTube video up like in a timely fashion, it's going to convert better to YouTube too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that when you're doing, like, let's say we went to Croatia and then we didn't drop that video for a month, it becomes stale. Like, I know when we were really, really doing one a week, like, people see it on your Instagram story, and then 3 days later, it's on YouTube. Yeah. They're fucking watching that shit. Yeah. And they're just tied in the whole time.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, we were fucking traveling everywhere. We were, like, nonstop on the road. We were doing the road trips, all that shit. This was, like, 2 years ago.
I talked to Osgod, too, and I don't even know how we did it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Like, because I remember it was like you'd have to... I remember we would watch the videos. It was every Monday, right?
Every Monday.
And then it'd be like...
we'd shoot it.
Yep.
And edit it and post it in the same week.
And I remember the sweat like leading up to that. And then everyone would kind of sit and watch the premiere.
Yeah.
And then it just the next day, it's like you had maybe one day
back to filming. Yeah,
and
one
it was
day
like
of rest.
fucking sweat right all over again. And that shit's not for everyone.
No.
Like straight up. I mean, so have you ever had anyone like, or have you dealt with anyone in the business wise or like videographers? Because I've had videographers who are like, I can't do this shit. People that like kind of just weren't about it.
I think with this shit too, it definitely takes even new people that we hire, it takes them a second to really like figure out how fast this shit is moving.
Yeah.
You know, like the vets that have been around, they know how it works. But yeah, we'll bring on like, let's say like a producer or something like that. And like, we'll give him an idea and he'll be like, yeah, I need like a month or something. And it's like, dude, no, we got to shoot this like in 2 days. Yeah. Like we want to post this in a week. So I think really just the social media world, you just got to be ready to move and get off your ass.
Really traveling though too, it's like you're drinking and partying combined in with that for the content.
Yeah, well, that's this specific this group as far as content.
Well, I don't think you can really compare anybody to our group though too, in the way that we move and do things.
Yeah,
like, you don't really see anybody else.
You've been around it a lot enough.
Yeah, bro, I've seen it all.
I mean, you've been around, a lot.
From not from the beginning of NELK, but definitely like the bringing on of Steve and like doing all that stuff. Like it was about 2 years ago, I think, that we just started making a bunch of content together, and it's fucking insane. Like, because I remember parts of the videos where it was like we have vlog stuff, and because I know you were all about like having those like you didn't have a video, you don't want to have a video that was just all pranked all prank. You wanted to have a good balance, and then there's also like you needed to also include some of like the vlog / party stuff. And then so the drinking became relevant. Then it's like you're trying to do all this stuff within a week. And I just do not understand that. And because you wouldn't unless you were in it. And I at first was like, yo, this is insane. Like, how the fuck am I going to start working out? And so I remember I would come to trips and be like, yo, as long as I could work out, then I don't care about anything else. But yeah, I mean, I know for sure it's tough. Like it's really, really tough. Super fucking tough.
There's a lot of shitty things about, but in this podcast, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining or anything like that. Cause like, I'm so fucking grateful to like be where I am.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like doing this, in my opinion, is like, it's the dream job, bro. Like it's what I always dreamed of. Like I'm seriously so happy like doing what we do. Yeah. Like I still enjoy it. I love making videos. I love doing this. This is another fun thing now. I love the business shit too. Like, launching this and seeing where it's at. It's all fun to me,
Yeah.
But
so I have a question about the business stuff. Did you like obviously it's transitioned so much over the years. How did I know the Jesse thing, like you guys parted ways. I know that from what I can understand looking out, it's like looking into it, everything was fine. But how did it evolve as far as social media and like the requirements of the filming, like the rigorousness of it and your guys' relationship together? Like, did it change your relationship? Did it change like the relationship to the business, to the, you know what I'm saying? I'm curious.
You should start from the beginning, bro.
I think, yeah, I think before we do that too, I just want to like, I think one thing with me is like when I don't like address this type of shit, it's just because like, I don't know, maybe I have an issue with being more vulnerable about like stuff like that. Like obviously we saw what happened last week with the Bob shit.
Yeah.
And like, to me, I'll be honest, bro, like that really like ate me up for like a whole week.
The Bob
Like,
stuff?
yeah.
Why
Like,
though?
like when Bob posted that TikTok, like I was just like, dude, what the fuck? Like it really like that to me was something that I like did not want to do. And like, I did not enjoy doing at all.
The response thing.
Yeah. I just don't like, that's not what I really signed up for. Like, I'm not here to do like drama shit or like talk about people that I considered to be friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even if I felt like they've done me wrong, I don't really like going on social media and talking about that type of shit, right?
Bob's way different though.
No, the Bob and Jesse thing is completely polar opposites.
No, they're completely different.
Polar, two totally different situations. But no, I think that's why one thing for me, I guess I got to get better at is just like, I guess, yeah. I mean, obviously the fans, you guys are so connected to us. They want to know. And I think if you don't say anything, then people just assume the worst, which I understand.
Right.
And I guess I do have a responsibility to like talk about shit. But like when Bob posted that TikTok, like, dude, for the next 4 days, like I was just like, I just can't, I was just like, I can't believe that he did that. And now that one was different because it was like, I have to kind of say something about this now. Even though I didn't want to. You know?
I think something that's frustrating, like from like, because I know how viewers are, they just see what they see and they don't always understand the full story. Like I've had experiences in the past where like people just shit on me for their own benefit, period. Like, or to like make themselves look good so that you look bad, so that they some sort of pull to them away from you. And like, it sucks because I don't think most viewers understand that there's always so much more to a story than just what someone says. Like there's so many cases in which like, obviously this happened to you recently, but I could say personally, people have ran their mouth about me just for views, just for clout, just for some sort of selling some shit to make themselves look good, to make someone else look bad. And it's unfortunate because it's never that simple. It's never just like, this is that cut and dry. So there's always so much more to it. And obviously like, it can be uncomfortable to have conversations specifically with like about people that you do consider friends or have considered friends, where it's like, it does suck to be like, damn,
because my whole thing, even with the Jesse shit, and obviously we're both on the same page, me and Jesse are, but I literally actually would always say like, I never want to call her daddy type fucking like incident.
Yeah.
Like when he said that, and then just like all the hate that comes in was something that I've never really like experienced.
Oh, you know? I've experienced that.
And then you're reading all those comments and like, the thing is for me, like all our comments are like, oh, like your videos, this video sucks. This video's not funny. Like blah, 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 blah. But this one was different because it was all like personal attacks on me.
Yeah.
Which I was not used to, you know?
Fans
like you're a snake, like you fucked your boy. Like, and then you really start to like you kind of like believe it for a sec. When you're reading all that shit, you're like, you know? So I had to like kind of take a step back and just be like, yo, like I know what I did in this situation. I know no one had more fucking like love and like interest for Bob succeeding than me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I fucking picked him out and gave him the best fucking opportunity he possibly could have had, you know? So
I get it, man.
I just feel like
I've had an experience
but
like
it sucked, bro. I didn't enjoy like even filming that fucking response video and shit. Like I was like, dude, this is so fucking gay.
You have to at this point.
But I had to, right? Like,
yeah. There was times like I experienced this years and years ago in the fitness industry, and I never really responded to it like properly. And I always kind of regretted that I didn't respond to it in a way that I should have.
Why?
But I got like, there was
act out of anger.
No, there was a dude who just basically like lied on my name, a ton of shit about like his girl and all this crazy shit. Like I stole his company. None of this was true. And I got called a snake. I just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and I lost 70,000 overnight. And he gained like 100,000 on his YouTube. Because my YouTube was blowing up. 70,000 YouTube subscribers overnight.
That's crazy.
And I just hit 1 million. And like, it was like when my videos were going super viral, I just hit like picking up girls at Gold's Gym, millions of views.
Yeah.
And this person came out and just made like a straight shit on me video. And I just had to deal with it. And I remember being like, I'm going to be the bigger guy and not address it and not say all the details. And I realized that was one of the worst mistakes I ever made.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, like when I look at it from like my hindsight now, part of me is like, in the long run, it's like it's all good because no matter what, like I just continue to do my stuff and be me. Regardless, though, I'm like what he said about the whole snake thing and being called like on these personal attacks. That was the worst part because people just instantly switched up on me overnight without even understanding the other side of the story.
That's the thing with the audience too, is when only one person's talking, they're controlling the narrative. So
Exactly.
people are just so quick to believe that side, and they're wondering when you keep quiet. It makes them think, okay, he's got a reason why he's not saying anything.
But that's the crazy thing. And I knew that. So I knew that, but then I also knew if you say anything next, they just go, well, he's just saying that because he said that.
Yeah.
So it's like whoever goes first has the most power. And that's the crazy part about it. And the dynamic is fucked up on the internet.
I'm glad that I think the Bob situation was handled. You handled it really well. I think everybody agrees with that. And I think it's good that it kind of ended. Hopefully it ended in such a quick time. Like the Call Her Daddy shit went on for weeks. This was like a statement.
Yeah, I think I'm really happy the way that like what I said, and I think it's the truth really. So I think that's why people kind of backed us. But I mean I feel bad for Bob. Like I don't know,
I love Bob.
I can't help but like I really did consider him one of my best friends.
Me too. I still do, but he certainly fucked up the situation. And that one's kind of on him.
I see a lot of shit. Like people will say something about us, like little jabs at us and stuff like that too. And I kind of just leave it alone because I don't want to be that person that wastes their whole fucking time responding to everyone. And then you're always in this internet beef and shit like that. You know, that's never been our thing. So I guess that's why I was kind of hesitant to respond. But
that makes sense.
But honestly, it was actually like a huge like weight lifted off my shoulders, man. Because like, everyone just like judging you and just having this like opinion on what happened. So for me to just go on and like clear it up, like I'm actually like really happy that I did that. And like people were able to see.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild if you think about it. Like instead of just communicating with Bob directly, you're opening it up for everybody to see your open conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of is just, it's
just the internet
indicative
now.
of social media because it's like we're not normal like people that you see like where you saw a celebrity back in the day and it was like he's on TV, it had no connection. Now that all the connection is built on the platform itself, like people kind of like, and this is something I'm realizing more and more.
People feel involved. They are involved.
Yeah, they are. They're like they have some sort of sense of entitlement, which is kind of
I'd be
realistic.
the same way too.
Yeah,
like I want to know what like when people have their little breakups or whatever.
If you watch someone
it's
for
like,
years.
Yeah,
you want to know what's happening. Yeah. I get it.
I think it's just something I just need to just get better at, I guess.
The confrontation.
Confrontation and just kind of getting back to being more open, I guess.
Yeah.
Shit like that. But
it's kind of crazy, dude. This actually happens a lot more than people think. Like creators, even in music, like people part ways at points in time and it just happens.
Yeah.
Like it happens very frequently.
Well, I mean, things change. Like goals change, like aspirations change, directions of people's lives change. Like I had buddies that worked for me who work for me in a different way now because they had kids and they couldn't do the other things that we had planned.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like there's nothing in life that is just going to be exactly one way once you start it from beginning to end. It doesn't even work that way.
Right.
Like the Jesse shit, like that, how that evolved, where it's like, I know that he was way more involved. And then like, I guess, I don't know if he kind of stopped from my perspective when I was looking in, I was like, maybe he stopped like doing the pranks because I'd be there in the car.
What did you see?
What's that?
Well, I think for that situation, I was always kind of waiting for me and Jesse to kind of say something together maybe, or like to do the podcast, like I always thought that would be a good way to kind of let fans know like together.
Yeah.
But I think after the Bob shit, I just feel more comfortable now just like talking about it, I think. But
do you think the podcast has helped you with that though too, probably? Just talking
I think so a bit.
Yeah.
I think so a bit. But
you kind of have no choice now too.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, but yeah, no, I always thought the podcast would be cool with Jesse, right? Obviously we see all the comments, all the fans want him on, but I reached out to him when he posted on his Instagram. He made like a thing saying like he's
he's moving on.
He sold his stake in NELK and Full Send and all that. And I just like once again just like kind of congratulated him and said like, yo, like congrats, blah blah blah. And we were talking a little bit back and forth. There's no bad blood at all. Like there's no bad blood on both sides. But I asked him, I said, obviously the podcast is there. Like if you ever want to do it, like when you're ready and stuff. And he basically told me like, yo, bro, like I'm down probably one day, but right now I'm just like extremely happy off social media.
Yeah.
Like he's just not. It doesn't seem at all like he misses the NELK life and like
the fast paced shit.
What kind of a fucking rat race this is?
Yeah, it is.
You know,
it is, dude.
And honestly, after like what I had to deal with last week, I was like, I kind of fucking envy him. Like I envied him for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you like? Damn. Like, do you think though, if let's say you got to that point where you were just cool with not being on the internet, which someday obviously I really want to be there, that you would then just never come back? Because I feel like now with this type of content, it's so much more comfortable. Like I couldn't.
To what?
I like doing what we're doing when we're doing it. Like to me, like I feel like I'm a natural like entertainer at heart. Like for me, I honestly love it. I love shooting something that like I came up with, shooting it, editing it, posting it, and getting a fucking amazing response from it.
Yeah.
Like that feeling is like, that's the best feeling to me. That for me is like what it's all about, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I think for me personally, maybe, I don't know if I'd always be doing the NELK type of shit, but one day like it might transition to like writing a movie or writing a TV show.
Yeah.
Or like different, but I feel like I'll never stop doing content.
Yeah. I feel like
but it just evolves.
Yeah. It'd be
There's some
weird
people
if I
that
stopped.
probably feel that way.
Like this stuff, I feel like I could do this shit.
Podcasts you
Yeah,
could do forever.
podcasts is different,
That's what's
bro.
great about the
We're
pod
sitting here
too.
chilling, talking.
It's amazing.
It's the best. It is literally the best.
Yeah, no, I think with the Jesse thing too is like it's obviously just a totally different situation than Bob, where there's no, I don't know if there's bad blood between me and Bob, but like the Jesse thing was kind of like a mutual separation, you know?
Yeah, I remember.
And I think,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think that like, you know, people say like, you know, NELK's not the same without Jesse, and like I would agree with that, you know, like no one can ever like, I think like what me and Jesse did was like, it's fucking unheard of, you know, like what we built together even before we met Steve. I think Steve joined at like, I don't know what he joined at, but it's got to be a few mil. Yeah, you know, like we went from fucking like broke to like successful.
Yeah. Well,
together.
Dude,
like it's insane.
This is the same.
When did Jesse join the channel? How many subs were you at?
So when I first met Jesse, I had started the channel, right? And we were making videos, blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of started to take it more seriously. This one I like dropped out of school. And I was at 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I was doing some of the pranks, like we had done the like McDonald's one. That one's like funny. And then Jesse had hit me up on like Facebook. And he used to be on an MTV show called Careless Teens.
Yeah.
He actually was on an MTV show in Canada. So he DM'd me and said like, yo man, like I'd love to like shoot some stuff together, blah, blah, blah. He pitched me a few ideas, and then one day we like met up and we shot it. It was like a "you lit me on fire" prank. So he said he knew how to put gasoline on someone's arm, and then like we could like light it on fire without like injuring them and shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so he would like go up beside someone and then put the gas on his arm, and I'd light his arm on fire, and then he would like blame the person like sitting beside him. Like, what the fuck? You lit me on fire.
That's pretty funny.
It's so reckless back then, dude. I love that.
It was crazy, bro.
Wait,
yeah.
Was there any practice, or did you just trust his knowledge on lighting you on fire and you just ran it?
I think I can't remember if I got lit on fire. No, we tried it out. It's safe though. We wore like 3 sweaters or like 4 sweaters.
And you're just patting it out?
Yeah.
Fuck, where's that footage
This is
at?
hilarious.
It's on YouTube.
I want to see this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could watch it.
We should see if we can pop that up.
I mean, I think it's important for people to understand that, and you said it a little bit earlier, it would never be the same without him. But the reality is this, like, it's just like an artist. You think about, everyone's like, oh, I want the old Kanye, the old Drake, whatever.
Just
it's
go
like,
back, Gabe. Just go back.
you can't make the same content forever. Like, just naturally as a human, you have to evolve, and things change, and like it has to evolve.
What happened after that video?
I wanted to go to LA.
Yeah.
So we were already going, and then we just asked Jesse. We're like, yo, do you want to come with us? Like, let's film. Let's try to just do YouTube shit, you know?
Yeah.
So he had said yes. So I pretty much saved up money. I worked at a golf course like all summer.
I remember this story.
And just fucking saved up money. And then we moved out to LA and we started like filming, doing the pranks. And this is when pranks were like really popular. And and we hit a few like viral videos. We did the 7 ways to compliment boobs. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
Where you're like, nice rack. And then the person
behind
behind's
him.
holding
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
rack.
Yeah, it's classic.
And then obviously the Coke prank.
That was one of the biggest pranks.
That's our most viewed video.
Yeah.
We did that. But I think, yeah, and that shit was crazy. Like, you know, we started popping off slowly and stuff like that. And we were going back and forth to Canada too. So, because we didn't have visas. So we're pretty much 6 months in LA, 6 months Canada, like going back to our parents' house too, right? Because we couldn't afford still to live by ourselves.
When you were in LA, wasn't there a time where you were staying with like the FaZe guys and stuff like that?
That was after.
After.
Yeah. So
Yeah, wait, you got to tell us what point are you at? How many subs are you at this point?
at this point, fuck, we're probably under 100K when we went to LA.
Fuck, bro. It's a journey.
Years
Keep
ago,
going.
too.
Yeah.
Years ago. This is fucking 6, 7.
What do you think it
8
is?
years ago?
2018?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Search up when the Coke prank was uploaded.
Yeah, I've been doing fucking YouTube for like 8, 9 years now. It's fucking been forever, dude.
I know some people are like, you guys blew up quick. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, it's always, but it's always you see it now. That's why they just see it now and they go, oh, they're popular.
2015.
Yeah.
That's when we uploaded it. So probably 7, 8 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I started end of 14. Holy shit.
And yeah, we were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then this was before the Cloud House. And I think one thing that, and we were doing like crazy pranks at this time too, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm 19, 20. Like I don't give a fuck. I was not scared of getting arrested one single bit.
Yeah.
You know, like we felt like invincible, I think.
What was the craziest one you ran at that point?
I feel like the Coke one was the
Back then,
craziest prank, dude. They were in Mexico, like pretending they had Coke. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fucking nuts. But anything else that like didn't go as viral or didn't air?
I mean, I could scroll back here, I guess.
Because the level of savagery was for sure different back then.
Oh, I mean, just on YouTube in general, like what they allowed was completely different back then. And this would have been around the same time, like pranks were probably the most popular thing on YouTube too.
What were you doing at this point?
I was doing fitness shit, straight up, just like workout videos, like teaching people how to fucking work out. I was training Fusi Tube and shit. Like,
I gotta keep. Can you
that's
just
how I
stay
got
on that
started
part?
on YouTube.
You pay me my 1,000?
I didn't pay you anything. No, I haven't looked at my phone yet. Still.
I mean, just a bunch of shit. Like we were doing all the this is like during like all the fake employee pranks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like fake Walmart, fake Starbucks, and all the college videos, like dropping out of college. Like this is one big college, you know, we were like 21, whatever, all that type of shit. But I think, like when you think of NELK, like me and Steiny were saying, like, and I was telling you, it's like NELK is like partying and drinking, or no, first NELK is pranks.
Yeah.
And then drinking and partying and traveling. That's kind of what, when we really got big, is like, that's what it always was, you know? Even when me and Jesse were in the car, like roadieing around and stuff, like we were drinking, we were partying, we were doing pranks.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing that really started to affect them, and this is like a long time ago too, it's not really anything recent.
Jesse.
Yeah, I think was like, and it even became more difficult for me, was the pranks. Right? Because you're doing these savage ass videos and you're always trying to like one up yourself every single week, every single time too, right? And there was a video we did in Toronto, and we got arrested for it. It was pretty stupid. I could tell you. Yeah, so it's always the pranks that are like the most harmless ones that you get arrested for. All the savage ones you never get arrested for. So we had like 10 pizza boxes like this, like taped up. And then we were just going to people's doors and being like, hey, did you order pizza? It's literally stupid, right? Like it's not even that funny.
How would you get arrested for that?
So the lady had come out of her house. Like she chased us out after and she was flipping out on us, like screaming at us, going crazy. Like, what the fuck? Blah,
because
blah,
you
blah,
knocked
blah,
on her
blah.
door and said,
yeah, but what happens when they say I didn't order the pizzas? You just keep going?
Yeah, we just keep going. We're just like, oh, like it wasn't anything crazy though. But then she had come out. She saw that we were filming, so she's like, she snapped and gave this crazy reaction. And at the time, I had this business card from this barber in my wallet, and it was like sitting on the like cup holder, and it said George Hennon on it. So she I guess she saw that the business card, and she's like, I know who you are, George Hennon.
What?
And it became a huge meme.
Yeah,
like it became the biggest. All the OGs are laughing right now. It became the biggest meme on our channel. And like we made like a beat with it. Like, I know who you are, George Hennon. George
What?
Hennon.
You had a fucking beat?
And we made like shirts with it and shit, like missing. And there was this whole thing like, yo, who's George Hennon? Who's George Hennon?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And
it was a
then,
barber.
It was a barber.
Okay.
And I actually didn't know that the business card was in my wallet for the longest time. I thought she just said
you
George
like,
Hennon.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is George Hennon? And then, so we kind of made it a meme. And then, but in the video, we blurred her license plate. We blurred her address. We blurred her face. Like we completely protected her identity. But somehow fans still found out where she lived. And they started calling her in the middle of the night. And like some people even showed up to her house.
They're like, George Hennon.
I think it was just kids down the fucking street, to be honest. But anyways, they charged us with criminal harassment and like mischief over $5,000.
Did the cops come to your house?
So the cops called us and they basically said, hey, like, come turn yourselves in, or like you're being charged. Like, come turn yourselves in, or, you know, we're going to come get you guys. It's going to go better if you come turn yourselves in. So we went and we turned ourselves in, and
you guys both got arrested, and
we both got arrested. Yeah. And it was, so they took us to like, it was downtown Toronto too. So we're from Mississauga. Mississauga probably would have been a little lighter.
Yeah.
But it was like downtown Toronto. It was pretty scary from what I remember.
And then you had to pay that money? Both you guys had to split it, or?
Well, then we had to get lawyers. And if you guys know anything about court cases, it's not fucking 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. This shit takes a fucking at least a year.
Yeah.
Anytime you get a charge, it's going to take at least a year, right? So we're dealing with this all year, and now we have this charge.
Yeah.
And I think we were facing up to like a few months in prison, right?
The fuck?
And no matter what, because this lady was also like a rich ass doctor too. She's a female. She's like a doctor.
Oh, she was pressing the issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Like you could tell she had some pull with the police. So we're like, fuck, you know, we didn't really know it was going to go down and shit.
Yeah.
So I think after that was one thing that I think, you know, it caused me stress.
It's actually kind of impressive because there's a lot of people that probably would have quit at that point.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, my mentality back then was like, I'd rather fucking go to jail than fucking fail this shit.
Yeah.
Like I was all in it. Like I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like let's post the video that we got arrested and let's keep going.
Yeah.
That was my mindset.
So what happened after all the lawyer fees? You guys just were like, all right, let's.
That case was still going on, but then we also had to keep going to the States.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So every time we were at the border, the charge would pop up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, I know that like obviously caused us a lot of anxiety too. And it was like one time they almost didn't let us in. Like they questioned us for like an hour, and then it was up to one guy. Like the guy's like, all right. He's like, bro, like you just make the call. And the guy's like, all right, like go.
Fuck it.
And that was like,
that's pretty crazy that they let you travel. They'll usually take your passport.
Yeah. I mean, but we couldn't stay in Canada because we would have been fucked, right? Like we had to go back to LA.
And Canada's like extra strict with stuff, apparently.
Well, this was the US government though.
Oh, okay.
Coming into the
in
country
relationship
with
to Canada, I'm just saying like this whole passing and going in and out.
So then we're going back and forth still, like, you know, traveling with the charge. And then we beat that one. We got it dropped. We both had to do 150 hours of community service at a food bank. I mean, this was the real kicker. After that was then, because time goes on, we're crushing it, traveling, doing the same shit. And then he got arrested in Ohio.
I remember that.
So what he did for that one is, this one's hilarious too. We dressed him up in a white suit and poured a bunch of fake blood on him. And then he had a shovel, and he went into the bookstore and said, is there any books for how to bury bodies for dummies? Right. And then I guess a bunch of people laughed. Like we weren't even getting good reactions. Like people didn't believe it. They're like, haha, like you're kidding. Right. But I think a bystander saw it or something, like probably some nosy Karen or some shit. And she called the cops.
Yeah, of course.
And then we're chilling out, vlogging with like a few fans, like giving out merch and stuff. And fucking like 6 cruisers pull up. And
I mean, imagine getting fooled by that too, though.
Shit. Huh?
Like you have to be a Karen to like
I just wonder
actually
what that,
believe that and call.
I just wonder what that phone call was like. There's a man with blood all over him saying
in a
he's
shovel,
murdered a body.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
I know.
So did they pull up like guns drawn then?
No, they pulled up and they're like, oh, like what's going on here? Blah blah blah. And we basically told them like, yo, it's just a joke. Blah blah blah.
Is this in Toronto or in California? Or
Ohio.
Columbus,
Okay.
Ohio.
Okay. You got to pay attention. You get it next time.
No, there's a lot.
No, I
just shut the fuck up, bro.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, yeah.
Shut up.
So,
Okay,
I
go ahead,
apologize.
Kyle. Sorry to have this.
Listen
What's
to
the comment
Guy
for
shows
that
up in
now,
his PJs.
Steiny should just sit back and let Brad do the whole interview.
Just listen. If you
No,
listen,
I'm saying
you
that's
got
what they're
it.
commenting.
Yeah.
Yo, sorry, dude. Dude, I love you, bro.
Nah.
How does this make you feel?
Pay me my money.
Hey, how does this make you feel?
Sad.
Okay. Anyways, let's get back to this story. This is interesting. So when
Columbus,
did you
so
start?
6 people pulled up and they're like, yeah, we told them that was just a joke.
Yeah.
And they were very pissed off.
Yeah.
Because I guess it was, I don't know. They said it was inducing panic. And I think like even like a helicopter had come and shit. Like they took the threat really seriously.
Yeah.
Like they thought it was a real thing. They thought there was a murderer there.
Yeah.
So like they took him away right on the spot.
Oh, he must have been stressing.
Bro.
Yeah.
In Columbus, Ohio.
Did they see the cameras?
Apparently the area that he was arrested was like one of the worst areas too. One of the worst like jails to go to.
Yeah.
And he was in there overnight, and then
they were like, "Don't drop the soap or what?"
I don't know. They just took him away. I was
Yeah,
shocked.
it's funny for you because you're gonna fucking flourish in jail.
I would do well, dude.
You're gonna get dapped up and
They'd be
fucking
like, "Yo,
probably
that's
running.
that guy.
Yeah, lucky
Got
fuck.
any drugs?
Wait, so is he goes to jail solo? No one else gets in trouble?
No. Yeah, they took him, and
So
then,
he comes out then, and he's like,
So he
"Dude,
was
fuck
in
this
there
shit."
for like a night or some shit.
"Yeah,
We had to like get him a lawyer. Like I was making calls, fucking got him a lawyer and shit, and we met up with the guy, and he got Jesse out the next morning. And then after that, I really noticed, like, all right, clear, like obviously too, right? Like
yeah." he wants to go to
after
jail.
that, we don't have visas too, so he's basically in the States. He didn't know if he was gonna get deported or what was gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was like a big moment. After that, I don't think he was enjoying doing the pranks as much, right? And like this is like still primetime savagery NELK, you know?
Yeah.
Like I just remember kind of after that, it seemed really tough for him to like kind of participate in like a lot of the pranks that we were doing, you know?
Yeah,
like
it
I
makes
remember
sense.
some of them like a fake pilot one. Like I don't think he was even down to be a part of that at all. Like that's where we dressed up as pilots and like went in the airport and like pretended to drink. It's fucked, bro. Like it was fucked
you know why
shit.
that one's fucked? Because federal laws are like really serious.
Bro,
when you're in an
that
airport,
one's
it's federal.
fucked.
It's like,
Dude, that one's fucked.
yeah, you're really because you can like not. They can put you on a no
Who
fly
did that
list
one
forever.
then? Just you or?
Me, Steve, and I think Danny Mullen.
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck,
But we didn't go past security. So we stayed in the general area.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like still fucked though, bro.
Yeah.
That like I don't know how we had the ball. That's fucked.
Who came
Yeah.
up with that one?
I don't know. Probably comments. Like do fake pilot.
Yeah.
Right?
No, for real.
At this time too, we were still going back to Canada, back and forth, and this charge was now showing up on his thing and stuff like that. And we were also applying for visas at the same time. So I think after that arrest was when it was really like kind of tough for him to do the pranks. And I think slowly, you know, he would try to do it, but I think just like I just think that it was too much of a risk for him, you know. I think he always wanted to see himself living in the United States too. So
Yeah. Imagine you got banned.
to risk that and fuck that up, I think was something that just wasn't really, you know, down to do.
Yeah.
Did you
Which
guys ever
makes
think about
sense.
changing up the content?
We did. I mean, we tried. We had like a moment where we were like kind of doing like skits and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like obviously when NELK became really big is when we did more vlog too.
Sure.
But people want to see pranks. They still want to see pranks. But yeah, we tried doing skits like a little bit.
Yeah.
And like people did not fuck with that really.
Yeah. I
Like one
remember that.
episode I remember was like I renamed it to This Video Sucks Horn.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's
I know
still
the
the
video.
title. It's called This Video Sucks Horn. It's the worst video on our channel.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
It's funny. I remember that. I remember when they were
Yeah.
like starting to fucking just be like, "Fuck this, you
Yeah.
suck. We want
Yeah.
pranks."
The video's garbage. Like if you watch the video, it's so bad. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. But
But you
yeah.
also got to try shit though too.
yeah. It is what it is. It's kind of funny now.
So where was the relationship at that point when the skits you started changing or trying to?
That was when we had moved into our first LA house officially, which was the Fredonia house. That
shit,
first
okay.
house. So that's when we had moved into there. And that's when we hired like more editors because we were doing every week.
Yeah, I remember.
We hired like 3 editors. And we had like 20 people living in that house.
I remember that.
Like there was one room with like 6 people. It was like a complete fucking like NELK shit show frat house.
Yeah.
Like it was a complete dump. Like
That's funny.
boxes everywhere, fucking clothes, like darts, beers, fucking
Yeah,
like
place was a shit.
it was an
hole.
absolute dump.
This is after you guys lived at my house for like a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is before we moved in. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Who all
these
lived
are-
there? Kyle, Steve, and Jesse?
At my house?
Yeah.
It was just Kyle and Steve.
Nice.
Jesse, Jesse was always, he just kind of always, to me, felt somewhat like
so
distant.
I think why he didn't come for that was because of his charge.
Yeah. He was still in Canada, right?
I think his charge, like, so then once you get your charge, once you beat the case, then you got to get your charge wiped. Otherwise it still shows up, right?
Cleared, yeah.
So he had beat it, but then it wasn't officially wiped. And I guess he didn't really feel comfortable. He didn't want a chance crossing the border, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
so he's in Canada at this point.
This is 2
Yeah.
years ago.
So I kind of,
That's funny, you know why?
I had to go and kind of keep the uploads going, right?
I just remember, you know, at the same time was happening is you and Steve went on Bob's podcast.
Oh yeah, with the 905 shit.
Yeah. This was
Mhm.
at that same time, right when you moved into Fredonia.
He was really a guy, if you know Jesse, that like he likes his alone time and he
For
likes
sure.
his space, and like he just likes to like he likes to mellow out and chill and be alone when he's not working, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that house was just like way too chaotic as well for him. And
That
I think
makes
he had
sense.
made plans to like maybe move out and like kind of live on his own.
Yeah.
At the same time that we're living in the house, I think this is when Jesse, you know, he kind of slowly stopped like coming out with us at night and stuff like that, and like stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember.
And then that's when he like made the decision to like go completely sober.
Yeah.
So which again, like that's like an individual choice, and like I think it's great that he like decided to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing I can really say about that. But when he decided to go sober was kind of the time that we were working on Happy Dad.
Right.
So at that point, like I kind of knew like, damn, like he's not, I knew he wasn't going to be able to obviously do the things that me and Steve are now doing.
You couldn't sustain it.
Well,
Couldn't
there's
sustain
no
that
way he
lifestyle.
could be involved in, you know, doing all the stuff for Happy Dad that me and Steve are doing right now.
Going
Like,
to
it's
liquor
crazy.
stores,
Like
club appearances,
going to
shit like
liquor
that.
stores, doing tastings, like pulling up at bars 3
Yeah. I
nights
mean, you
in a
literally
row.
can't do it if you're sober.
You know, like it's not a place that you know
wanna be if you're
someone
sober.
yeah that,
Fuck
that you
no.
don't no it's not somewhere you want to be around when you're sober.
Yeah.
Right. So we kind of started doing the Happy Dad stuff, and we launched Happy Dad, and me and Steve started doing all the stuff like the bars, and you know when you own an alcohol company, there's drinking involved, you
Yeah.
know, and sometimes it's not always something I want to do either too, you know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it literally is work.
Yeah.
So I obviously totally get why Jesse couldn't really like be a part of that, you know. And I think at that same time too, yeah, I think he just realized like, yo, I'm not really happy doing all the stuff that's like required with the NELK lifestyle.
I mean,
Like,
it makes sense. You know, people
yeah.
grow.
Yeah. So
People fucking
I think
evolve.
Well, dude, I think the lifestyle for a lot of people would be tough.
Yeah.
You got to be cut some type of way to do this shit, bro.
Without a doubt. That's the thing we're saying. Like the fast pacedness of it, like regardless, I don't think that Jesse couldn't necessarily do it. I just think his like these goals or things he wanted in his life started to like not align with it. I think
Yeah.
he could still do it if he wanted
I think
to.
he was just fed up with like even, yeah. And then we went to South America. We did like a big kind of like we did Europe.
Yeah.
And he decided that like he wasn't going to go on that trip.
Yeah.
You know, obviously just after being sober too, I guess it was just, I don't know. It was just too much for him, right? I can't really speak on exactly how he was feeling,
Yeah.
but I just noticed that he just didn't really want any part of like the NELK videos.
Yeah.
He wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I think he kind of pushed himself to the limit. So he kind of he decided he wanted to kind of help more with the merch and like doing the designs and stuff like that. So he did that for a little bit. And then that's when he launched his own channel, Shithole.
Shithole, I remember.
And that started kind of as like behind the scenes of what he was doing with the merch
Yeah.
and stuff like that, kind of like a reality show type vibe. And then he kind of switched it up into more like an MTV punked type style show
I remember
with
that.
like more production and pranks and stuff like that.
Did he ever ask you for input or advice on that kind of stuff, or was
Yeah.
it just completely?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like especially at the beginning, like helping with like, oh, what's the title going to be for the first video and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean?
You're right.
Helping it launch it a little bit, but it was mostly him, but he did ask me for some advice.
Makes sense.
Did you know it was going to go in this direction? Like ultimately he's going to do his thing. You were going to do yours.
I mean,
at the end of the day, the NELK show had to go on, right?
Yeah, I think he was just really focused. Like he was really happy and he was really focused doing like the shithole show. And it seemed to me like he was like just way happier doing that.
That's great.
You know, like there was no traveling, there's no drinking, it was on his time, it was on his schedule.
Yeah.
He could kind of sustain like a healthy lifestyle and also kind of do the content that he wanted to do as well.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I think he saw like his future like being more in that style and like that lifestyle.
I mean, it makes sense, dude.
Yeah, it does.
It's the shit's not for everyone all the time forever.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, like we were talking earlier, like you may even evolve into something else where like maybe you're not doing the same things that you've always done. Because I was always curious, like to me it looked like NELK, the concept of it, like the group and the videos, the style, like the banter stuff, it could continue to be like, not necessarily a network, but like a continuation. Like there could be another group that continues that kind of style if it had some sort of like maybe direction. I always considered you the guy that like maybe you'd just be like directing the next group of guys who could continue that. And I've always been curious. I always wanted to ask you this. Or do you think when you stop doing it, it's done?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of evolving now too. To where, I don't know, I think we can kind of, it just might be less uploads because now I'm at that point now where it's like, I don't want to just like rush to put out like a shitty video. I feel like we've done our time with every week. Like we're trying to put out as many YouTube videos as we can, obviously.
Right.
You know? Love making videos. But I think now it's more just like kind of like our life as well as some pranks and some trolling.
Yeah.
And I think we're always going to live a pretty crazy life. And I'm always going to still enjoy doing some type of pranks.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do, even now I'm in the same position that Jesse was, is like, bro, I don't have the balls that I used to do with like these crazy ass pranks, right? Yeah. Like I look back at what we used to do and I'm like, dude, the shit me and Jesse were doing before, and even when Steve joined, was fucked. Like,
yeah.
Well, dude, can you think of any creator who's doing the same thing they were doing 10 years ago?
Well, yeah, that's also the moral of the story. Is like you also can't, even the platforms itself, I don't even think they allow certain things to be on the platform like they used to.
Yeah,
like
it's always going to change at some point.
It's all evolving. That's this whole thing. I mean, this whole thing is living, right? Like social media is still so brand new as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's like but I guess I meant like,
where you're not involved anymore?
Yeah, or like, would you like consider something
completely? It'd be a tough choice to let someone else upload on the NELK channel.
Yeah.
Like I would, that shit's my baby, right?
So you have to move evolve somehow, but maybe
I'd
even
probably make a different channel for them or some shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you let it die then.
I mean, why?
If it had to die.
Yeah, but I mean, you could take 6 months off and drop a fucking banger video.
It's true.
Yeah. Right?
Like, but I mean, like when you're 35.
You could still make videos.
Still do the podcast.
Of course, the podcast. I'm saying that's separate. I'm saying NELK and the concept of NELK.
You're still uploading on Bradley fucking your 4 channels.
I am 33. Yeah.
But who knows? Where am I going to be when I'm 35? Maybe Happy Dad's like fucking one of the biggest alcohol brands. And like my life is still going to be.
You can still do whatever you want.
Crazy, right? Like I'm sure we're still going to be going to fucking UFC fights. And like, and I think you just film that. And I think you just kind of evolve it too, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the pod, we're going to be meeting cool people all the time. And that's the way I see it. I see it as just you're kind of uploading a little less and you're only putting out kind of what you want.
Yeah. I mean, social media is so cool because it's like, it literally can grow with you and your audience can grow with you. And then you could even,
well, you know what too? We're talking about it. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to.
It's fine.
But like, even we talked about Mr. Beast, YouTube Shorts becoming so big. Like that means maybe you don't have to film as much content. Make it easier on yourself.
Yeah. And also even Mr. Beast, we're talking about.
I'm excited about that.
That 18 plus thing. Obviously it's not a real thing, but like even Mr. Beast at some point, like we were talking about his evolving, like he's not going to film that same exact thing forever, right? It's going to evolve.
Our shit's already totally different. Yeah. If you go back to the shit that was 6 years ago, like it was completely different.
It has
you
to.
know?
That's the
And
point.
I
though.
love the old shit. Like I'm with the OG fans. Like when I go back and watch that shit, I'm like, damn, that shit is fucking jokes,
Funny as
bro.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I personally love our new shit too.
Yeah.
I just think it's two totally different things.
Yeah.
But I think at that point too, when, you know, it was clear to me that Jesse was not happy being involved in NELK, that's when me and him started talking about, you know, things and him saying like, you know, I'm kind of down to like officially like, you know, exit.
Yeah.
So we pretty much agreed on a number and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much agreed on a number and he basically got a fat check.
Chilling.
And
can you say what that number is?
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to say it. But and then he also owns like
well, I got
leverage guy over here.
Yeah,
Angle.
no, I understand.
Angle.
No, I'm not going to say that. And he also owns a huge piece of Happy Dad too.
Oh, that's that.
So that's like in a few years too, if that does sell, or whatever we decide to do with that, like that's another. Yeah, but I think he posted on his social media and he pretty much said like, "Yo, like I enjoyed it, like I loved it," and
yeah,
for me it's just I get where he's coming from too, you know, like I totally understand because there's times to me where I'm like, bro, like I don't want to do this sometimes, you know.
I've woken up a few times.
Like it's just like
been like, how the fuck have you done this for so long and how do you still do it?
Yeah, but I don't want to sound like a pussy, like complaining about it, because I know everyone fucking works hard. Everyone has to fucking work. But just like anything else, you know, it's 95% fun, and then there's that 5% where it's like, fuck, man, like this is not fun. And it's like shit like the Bob shit for me, or like other drama, dumb shit like that,
right.
or like it's always the shit that you never signed up for that comes with it. That it's like, this is part of the game, bro.
Well, I've talked about it before, and it's relevant. People only see what they're given, right? But there's so much more behind the scenes that happens. It's just like it's a part of this whole thing, and it's also like everything in life is not. We talked earlier. It's not supposed to be easy. That's not the stuff that's going to make you better. Like the gym is a great example. Like I said, it's hard. You get better. This stuff, like you deal with stuff, you get better. All this stuff is supposed to be challenging. Like, but you're right. I mean, I think people are fed this idea that, you know, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And I think that's absolutely bullshit, because I do believe like I'd rather be doing something that I love my entire life and that feeling like work even when it needs to be or because it has to be, versus doing something that I don't love. But I think people have this idea that they're going to stop working, but it's also not true, because no matter what, like if it revolves around like money and other people, like you have to make things work. You have to like continue to go, and it's tough sometimes. Yeah, especially with people, it's tough.
There's ups and downs in everything you do.
Absolutely.
I think
accepting that.
I honestly like admire, like I think that took like a lot of fucking courage for him to like step away.
For sure.
Like to really like put yourself first before like.
And there's also uncertainty in
this game, like, you know, but like to be able to be like, you know what, like I'm done. I'm not happy doing this.
Yeah.
And like not have that FOMO of like, oh fuck, like are they gonna do this without me, or are they gonna do this and that? But so I admire like his courage to just kind of be like, yo, like I'm gonna live my life the way that like I want to live my life, and I'm not gonna let like comments or fucking people's opinions get in the way with that, you know.
Good for him. I agree.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard, bro.
Because I think too, one thing I want to say is like people think that we're making all this money too, but me and Jessie personally the whole time, there's money that goes into the NELK account, and then there's money that goes into your personal account.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So that was the other thing too, is me and Jessie weren't personally cashing out like everyone thinks we were.
Yeah, I get it.
The amount of money we were spending on videos and everything was just like money in, money out.
I totally get this. Like my money.
It's fucked, right? Like I don't think we took money out of the company for like a year and a half once. Besides a little salary, like no merch commissions, no nothing. Like, and I think whatever he does next is gonna be be good. He's a very creative guy.
Yeah, he's super creative.
He's a smart guy.
Funny motherfucker.
Funny guy, yeah. Like just, you know. NELK will never be the same without Jessie, right? Like he was it was me and him that pretty much started
it's not supposed to be.
I mean,
no.
Yeah.
To his credit too, like I gotta say, I didn't even really know him that well, because when I joined, you guys were kind of doing your own thing, but because of him, we're able to do this too. So appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, all this is like I said, different phases.
Yeah.
It's dope as fuck. I'd love to, honestly, I want to have him on my podcast and talk to him now. This whole thing made me think about it.
I think that'd be good. And yeah, I think, the reason I just always thought it'd be good to It's just not. I mean, I said what I could, but obviously, I can't speak on what he was
For sure.
going through. Right?
Yeah.
I can't speak on it. I can only kind of say what I witnessed and what I was going through too, as well. You know, those pranks, and it was the NELK lifestyle.
Yeah, I remember.
It's not
Yeah.
fucking easy sometimes, bro. Like it's nonstop, right?
No, I mean, yeah, especially when you're getting fucked with. Not that easy.
I don't know. Was that like you're the only one getting fucked with thing, or I don't know
No,
if you remember
just
the
like-
2 years of Steve calling me a drug dealer, and
Well,
I was
no,
the butt
I'm
of every
relating to
single
you.
joke. I mean,
I'm relating to you.
are you?
You know what I went through.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I
2
think we
years
got to do
solid.
like a we got to do like a full like NELK reunion one day.
Yeah.
That would go
I was gonna ask you.
hard.
You think
That
you'll
would
ever
go
do a
hard.
video again? You and Jesse?
Yeah,
Yo.
I mean, I'm obviously down. I think that
Yo,
yeah, I think like I said, I messaged Jesse and I think he's just chilling, bro. Like
you gotta
maybe in
convince
like a
him more.
year.
But imagine though, like just content wise, the fans. Listen, imagine like we did like just one more road trip. Like, dude,
Just one.
They would
Just
love
one.
that shit, bro. That'd be insane.
MTV Pat.
Yeah, dude, that'd be lit.
Pat, I miss Pat.
I
too.
love Pat.
Pat's a
He's
beauty.
He's the
always
goat.
so nice, man. He's
He's
always
the
in my
man.
DMs like, "Yo, you're doing great.
Yeah,
I'm proud
Pat's
of
a
you."
beauty. He's a really, really good guy.
Yeah, man. But I think it's just, yeah, I think there's got to be something at some point to have some sort of like little reunion thing. I think it'd be fire.
I think the bottom line is just like, yo, this even like people behind the scenes and too, like this lifestyle, bro, is not for everyone.
No.
yeah.
You know?
I think people, like I said, people just have a different perception of it because they just see it, what it looks like.
course.
And like we're on camera and it looks easy. We're sitting on couches. Obviously, like this is probably the easiest content I've ever done just because I'm naturally like, I guess, a talker. But all this other stuff, man, like there's how many trips and how many bus rides, how many car rides to go shoot that. Like I remember when we got chased out of that bowling alley
oh
and
my
the guy
God.
came out with a gun and we're like, everyone's ducking in the fucking car because we're not trying to get fucking clipped. Like, bro, that was insane.
Insane.
Like we went to that alley.
Where was that?
It was in the middle of nowhere, in like in a place. It was
Idaho?
it was in Idaho. It was in Idaho in a place where like
Was that where Drewski was there too?
Drewski was there, but he
Okay.
wasn't with us on this
Yeah,
at this portion.
yeah.
Salim was in
He
there.
stayed the fuck home. Man.
Yeah. No, he's smart for that. And it's all I know is we're in there and Salim, like, he's just, you know, how he does his like stone face shit. And the person's like, get the fuck out of here. And then I just remember at one point, they're like, I'll fucking kill you. And then like they started pulling guns out. And we're literally like pulling guns out.
Bowlers don't fuck around.
The bowl, and also I remember later on, like people were saying where we were, and they're like, "Yo, you guys were gonna get murdered and buried." Like that place in Idaho was not a place where like people will really just kill you. It's like in the
Damn.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it was so sketchy,
Bowlers are strapped up.
bro. I remember literally hopping in a van with
no security at that point.
I don't think
We
I think we
did,
did,
but
but
like we're
what
not.
are we gonna
It's
do?
not going to be
Fucking
a,
get in a gunfight?
a shootout
No, but-
over a fucking bowling lane.
I don't know,
bro. Like it was like a whole bowling alley was like, we're gonna kill you.
Oh, it was all the
Yeah,
bowlers
it was
against
the-
you guys.
They were like it was like a little bowling clique, and they were like, "Oh, you fucking with us? We're all gonna just get our guns and kill you." I'm not playing. Like they're like, "We're gonna kill you," and then we're running out. And I'm not kidding. Salim and Jay are like, we're jumping in the car and like we're head down trying to drive away, and Adrian's driving.
Damn.
Like, dude, that is people. You wouldn't know it, like, because you'd only see what we saw on camera, and it was this bowling alley thing. And I think there was a clip somewhere, but that's fucking stressful. I remember I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like, I'm not even gonna lie. That was the time when
Well,
I
you
was
had
like,
your filmer there.
"Yeah, bro." We were like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Has there ever been times when you personally were like, "Fuck, man, I just want to like
As
pack
far
it
as
in"?
as far as this content.
No, just in general.
Well, yeah, I was there. There was a time earlier I was talking when you went up to the bathroom when I was getting a lot of shit on the internet for like, you know, this kind of negative talk from someone just spewing some bullshit story just to make me look bad. And I remember for like 2 years after, I want to say a year after that, I was almost like, because I kept seeing these same bullshit comments, people calling me a snake and all this shit. And I remember being like, man, fuck these people. Like I've been for years prior to this, all I did was good and put good content and information and talked about my life, and people just flipped on me like that because they heard a story. And I remember being like really resentful to that, where I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. I got resentful to the audience. And then a part of me just like, I just filmed videos just because I knew that I had to, but I didn't really want to. So I did kind of disconnect from it at a point, and then I kind of fell in love with it again. I would say like maybe 2 years fully after that point. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to let it go.
It's not fun when you're like about to post a video, or you know you have to post a video and you're just like scared there's going to be a bunch of like negative comments
Oh,
on it.
bro.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what like takes the fun out of it for me too, is like you're like scared to post.
Yeah. I
Right.
felt that, man. That was a crazy time in my life for sure. But it's all learning. Like I said, like people who just continue to thrive are the people who just continue to fucking do it and fucking find the way, and they keep going. They change direction. Too, man. Like just in this setting, I wouldn't have as much to say about anything if I didn't go through all that stuff. Just like you wouldn't have as much to say, as much advice to give. Like life experience is the reason why, at least even this content is most enjoyable for people listening. And like all that stuff that you went through, like the dynamic of building a company, like having it like change over time and having personalities and shift, and like this person needing more of this person needing less of that. You learn from all that. So now you come in a position here, and it's so, that's why I think this is so cool. Like this podcasting show is like perfect timing for this and for us. Cause then you can give that information to the people watching, because they're the ones in the next 10 years who might be the guy who gets on YouTube and blows up now, and they go, oh, they learn. Like that was a crazy thing. Like when I got on all this social shit, there was no, and you too, there was no like, this is how you do it.
No.
There wasn't a fucking blueprint of like, this is how you succeed and you can make money doing this. Like we just kind of created it all.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like a fucking pioneer in this shit. And I love that idea, because now it's like we get to sit in this position, just talk about these things and give insight that someone wouldn't be able to give or understand prior without actually being in it. So you have a lot to give because of all that shit, and you just kept moving. And I think that's what life's all about, man. And whether it's this or whatever else you're doing, that's all it is. And that's why you've been successful.
I know, we've been at it for a long time, right? It's fucking, it's crazy to think back.
8 years, 9 years.
8-9 years, yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
And the evolution.
You look back and you're just like, how? Like,
yeah, dude, the craziest thing is when I meet kids who are like 26 and they're like, I've been following you since I was like this age.
I know.
Because I'm like, what the fuck? Like motherfuckers grew up watching me. That's the trippiest thing when they come to my gym and they tell me that shit. I'm like, what the hell? But it's a blessing. So like, I don't think people would give a fuck enough to come and listen to this podcast if there wasn't some sort of value there. Specifically these ones, right? The internal ones, because it's like, is really just storytelling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or going over stuff. So I love it, man. I love this shit.
Me too. It's a little different one.
What's that?
The more serious internal pod.
No, it's dope. I mean, it's necessary.
Yeah, it's good.
You need perspective. I don't think people don't have enough of it sometimes, and they you know, the Bob stuff, that they judge, and they judge just from what they know. If they don't have the perspective, how could they know differently? How can they judge differently? So
changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Mine straight up.
Good. I think it was a good episode, right?
Yeah,
it's good for people to hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we leave. Maybe we'll do the NELK reunion one day.
That'd be
when everyone's ready.
Like one little like week trip, dude. Fuck.
Mr. Mennery invited or no?
Dude,
Well, I mean,
imagine
we'll
that
invite
would be crazy.
I think me and Bob will be. I mean,
You
it's
guys
up
will
to
be
him,
friends again. I
but-
promise you right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to him. I could forgive him, but
He'll get over it. You guys will be friends again.
All right,
Promise.
so next week is what? Abu Dhabi?
it's
then
looking
Miami
like that.
after Abu
We're
Dhabi.
we're still waiting to hear for sure.
Yes.
Right.
Miami after Abu Dhabi. Can
We're
we say
still
that?
we don't know for sure if we're going to Abu Dhabi though.
Or can we
just be on standby?
we
boys.
say Miami's gonna happen?
Miami. We're gonna be in Miami after Abu Dhabi.
What's
We'll be out there for Halloween.
in Miami?
Will you dress up this
Um,
year? You're
fine.
not a costume guy. I don't understand what's wrong with you, bro.
I know. I'm not a big
What's
costume.
up with that?
I don't know.
Gabe wants to get in here.
Oh, you two are doing a costume?
Believe it or not, Gabe's trying to get in here. Like fuck.
Gabe, come sit down with your.
No.
Okay. No? Okay.
He can
Well,
come
that's
in
how
here.
we end the shit then. It's done. We're done.
I think it's done. Great
Yeah,
episode.
Fucking awesome.
And yeah, thank you. Thanks to all the fans for fucking rocking with us.
Yeah.
It's been,
Yeah, thank you.
Subscribe, all that good shit.
Super
It's
grateful.
cool.
Thank
you guys
you.
on iTunes, Spotify, everything?
we're on everything. Yeah.
Everything. Run it up. Let's go.
All right. Thank you guys.